I don't have the belt, so.
Uh, hey, that's okay. Because you know what? On here, we take what we can get around here, Mr. Dredd. Look at this, boys and girls. It's it's been a very busy day on Stern to Pop. But look how we did our nightcap, if you will. It is the PAPW Intercontinental Champion. This is Stern to Pop with Donkey K with my very special guest on his 20-year anniversary, Bull Dredd. What's up, my man?
Man, 20 years in the business. Feels like it was yesterday that I walked into Jason's school. But wow, what a day! How everything just kind of worked out, Kincaid Files under the radar tonight. Wow.
On the radar, yeah. Big congratulations from all of us to Bull Dredd. That's awesome, man.
Thank you. Today's also Joseph von Schmidt's 20th. We walked into the business together. And I wished him a happy anniversary this morning. Because we've been pretty much married for 20 years. You know how it is in the business.
So both of yourself and Mr. von Schmidt trained together under the same teacher?
Yes, under Jason Knight. The people that came out of Jason's school that you might know, Velvet Sky, Mercedes Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
So we're pretty much, I don't know if Velvet's still active or not, but we were basically the top 4 people. I mean, I think Abel Graves might still be kind of active, but we're the main top 4 that came out of that school.
As far as Velvet Sky, I think she does appearances, but in ring, I haven't seen a whole lot, if anything. Ms. Martinez, wow, look at where she's at. She's about 20 years into the game as well. And look at
she started a couple of months before I did.
Oh, wow. Okay. So she's 20 years deep in the game. And it's funny you mentioned Mercedes because I was looking at this past NXT, and when she came out, they announced her from the Brass City. They didn't announce her from Waterbury, Connecticut.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if that's been a normal thing because I haven't picked up on it, and I just did this past week. But I found that kind of funny.
I mean, actually, I wish I thought of that because I probably would say that. But, I've always kind of built myself from Hell Yeah USA. Then now I just, from Waterbury But that's how I came up with the Beast in New England, because I am the original.
Now we've talked with some of your battles throughout the New England scene, but you've been pretty active. Specifically, Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, and they are based out of East Haven, Connecticut, and.
Right.
You've been pretty active with this promotion as of late. I'll say even the last year, if maybe not a little bit longer, if I'm not mistaken. How is everything going? Your physical, being and your mental, and all of that, because getting 20 years into your tenure, sometimes it's hard to keep all of that package going. How is this run going for you right now?
Well, I could just, if you want to rewind the clock back maybe about 4 years, when I had, my change in, my life and my lifestyle and, everything and, health and everything just kind of came together. I was looking at 2016 as being my final year. I was already talking about retirement. Like I just couldn't do it anymore, being in pain. But then once, I got diagnosed with having type 2 diabetes, kind of like started the ball rolling with the weight loss and, the believing in my sexy and kind of just, the motivation to get healthy. And, it kind of, I started becoming healthier and, taking the weight off and, I wasn't in pain as much. And I mean, you've seen the Sexy Beast era, and it was about a year where I kind of, when PWA kind of closed down and I didn't have a school to train at, it was really hard to be in ring and perform and try to keep up, with the fitness part of it. So I gained maybe about 50% of my weight back. But it wasn't until over the past year where I kind of just made a lot of more changes, and I dropped down close to almost 50 pounds, and I'm in the best shape of my life. So it's just one of those things where it's I mean, my love, don't get me wrong, I've always loved wrestling, but I didn't truly fall in love with the business maybe until my whole change of life, my lifestyle change. And I truly fell in love more. And the more I started, not that I didn't already have passion for it, the more passionate I became. It's just one of those things where it's like once that fire starts burning, it doesn't go away. And there was a point in time where I mean, we discussed. I was sitting home, and I've always wanted to go to PAPW. I just something was holding me back. But and then I made that decision that one day to call Mario, and I've been on every show since. And it just kind of everything kind of happened all for how the universe just kind of aligned everything. And like you said, I've been active ever since. And even with the pandemic, I still worked on myself, stayed in shape, and through COVID, all the little shows we do, and the things we've been doing at the school, I'm still in the best shape of my life. I feel great, and and like I said, the night that I won the title, I didn't go there for me. Part of it is for me, yes, because I love wrestling, I love performing, but I feel I'm the veteran, and I kind of brought legitimacy also to the company and to the locker room. Not to be a leader, but somebody that could be a veteran, say like Mario and Paul and the rest of the guys, to kind of me be there to mentor some of the guys that need it. A lot of them new guys. So I'm just very happy to be where I am, and that's it. I mean, what could I say? I'm blessed.
Uh, and if anything, KPW has quite the crew of young talent that's starting to rise up in the company. So you're seeing that firsthand, what they're actually bringing, molding in PAPW.
Yeah, it's different. 20 years difference. There's a lot. Things are different now, and I'm not saying that Mario or the guys are handing the students anything easy, but the mentality of the younger guys, the younger generation, is a hell of a lot different than it was when I first started. But that comes with that's just life. It's yeah, put it this way. Try to imagine, visualize yourself, having, Facebook 20 years ago, especially saying in the music business that you used to do. Imagine how life would have been different then, how much easier things probably would have been handled, and especially promotion. And that's, I guess, the way you got to kind of look at it, so.
Uh, now, we've mentioned that you're the Intercontinental Champion. Could you tell us how many days that you've been champion up until today, sir?
It's been well over a year. So it's possibly about 380 days. I don't remember. It was right in the beginning of December when I won the title. And it's the second day of January. So, yeah, so at about 25 days maybe. So what's that? 390 days?
Wow. Very impressive. I know you've had title runs in the past. Is this one of your longer tenures with a championship?
Yes. Yes, it is. But even with COVID and everything being shut down, there were a couple months where we didn't run, but we still had the Saturday Alley fights. I had the last man standing with Big Jim.
The Big Jim? Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So then we had Under Pressure. So we've been active, maybe not as much.
Right.
However, there's still title defenses, and the days don't matter. It doesn't really matter how long of the reign is. It's what matters are the successful title defenses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have off the top of your head about how many defenses have you had in with your title?
Just with the Intercontinental title,
Yeah.
I'll say about a half a dozen, maybe.
Okay.
Over, it could have possibly been more. due to restrictions. But hey, listen, there's still title defenses, and and I fought hard to keep it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just watching that last, I don't know what you got. What were you calling it? A street fight or whatever? You and Big Jim on that
Big
last.
Jim, yeah, the last man standing. Yeah.
Wow, what a hoo-ha that was. You guys were all over the place.
You know how weird is it that the night that it was right after that match got released, we did Stern Pot. Was it the same day? It was the same day.
It was the same exact day.
See, we're connected. We're connected in a very higher level.
There's something there, my friend.
I mean, like I said, this interview is more. Yeah, it's about Pro Bowl Dredd, but you know what? This is like a celebration of a 20-year career.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna get into that. Definitely, yeah. we're totally gonna get it because I love hearing stories and memories and such because we the fans we don't know these stories and such. So I love when you guys and girls share some stories. So we're definitely gonna get into some of that. But tonight, my friend, I want to get into something very specific because we're talking IC championship. We're talking PAPW. We are talking events. We are talking the very first ever PAPW pay-per-view for $4.99 tonight at 7 p.m. I don't even
be available.
Yeah, I don't even know what time it is right now. I've lost track of all time today because I've been so busy. But I'm telling you, I have seen the card, and one Bull Dredd, that IC championship is on the line against one very formidable opponent, Maxim Morozov. I just like to call him the Russian. I don't like to say his name much. So a couple things. First, to the Russian, to Bull Dredd, I wish you all the luck to defending the title.
Thank you. I mean, of course, you know the stipulations. He cried to management.
I do, and I kind of wanted to dive into that. How did this come up? Because if we didn't see the storyline happening, please discuss to us what are the stipulations for tonight's event, and how did that become?
Well, at Under Pressure, he extended a hand to me. He needed a partner to, wrestle his former, his allies, and I gladly accepted. Lo and behold, it was a plan the whole time, him and his partner, and he turned on me, and then I got whacked with the chair. So, I put out the challenge the next night at Under Pressure, night 2. I put the title on the line, and I lost my temper. And very rarely do I lose my temper in a match. Basically, kind of just I lost, my thought, and I just lost everything, and I came out of character pretty much. And I just went crazy. I mean, it kind of brought back, the days of the Bull Dredd of the hardcore days, back when I first started, the ECW, ACW era. And I just saw red. And I just went crazy on him with the chair. So he went to management, asked for the stipulations. If I get myself disqualified or even get myself counted out to keep the title, I automatically lose the title. So, and, you heard what I said. I was like, stipulations or not, I'm still going to whip your ass and still remain, the IC champ.
Well, I know you're not one to back down from anybody or any fight, anywhere, anytime. That we do know about Bull Dredd. But, sir, I have to say, finding yourself in a tight predicament because these stipulations, I mean, this can go like 17 different ways. And I mean, these stipulations aren't for the champion, I believe, at this point. I think they're for the challenger.
Correct.
Are you feeling, and I know you've just said it, but you're feeling that confident with the stipulations because they don't matter to Bull Dredd that you're coming out victorious against this challenger?
Don, we're mature men. And what's the one thing in life that us as real men do when we make a mistake?
We fix it or we make amends. We correct our mistakes.
We learn from our mistakes.
We learn by our
mistakes, and we don't let it happen again. So it's about control.
Okay.
Yeah, about controlling your anger. And the most dangerous man in this world, dangerous person in this world, is somebody that could control his emotions and their anger. You know, hey, I lost it. I admit it. You know, and but it won't happen again. You gotta
Uh,
play smart.
Now, do you know ahead of time? Because I don't know. I don't know these things. But the event that's coming up tonight, do you know who's refereeing your match? Because I'm curious because that ref Bill, you got to watch that one. He's a little something something once in a while. And El Ref, he just wants to choke slam. I don't know what's going on with that guy. He wants to choke slam me like every day of the week. So I'm just saying, you might have to keep your eyes out for that referee, all depending on who is involved.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't trust many people, especially in the ring, but they know better than to screw me.
Mhm.
They've if they saw what I did to Borisov at under pressure, they better watch their back and what I'll do to them.
Yeah. Wow. Uh, so this pay-per-view is the very first one in the company of Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, and you get to be part of that uh, with defending your championship, 20-year anniversary. We're having a beautiful conversation on stirring the pot. I feel, my friend, this is something. This is kind of tonight could be a milestone for Bull Dredd with everything that's going on. Uh, are you celebrating? Are we kicking back some bubbly? The Chris Jericho bubbly. What's going on this evening?
Well, I watched. I think I watched something with. I watched you and Cindy Hart. You know, Cindy is a good friend of mine. I've known her for almost 15 years. You know, I love her to death. You know, I've always kind of watched over her and protected her. And you had some apple pie moonshine, Mikey. Mikey, go get me the moonshine. I think that's what I'm about to drink right now.
Get out of here!
And give me the cup. I need a cup. Yeah. So I mean, honestly, I mean, yeah. Listen, I got all year to celebrate. This is going to be a 365-day celebration of my 20-year career. That's the way I look at it. Look at that, baby. Look at that.
Wow.
With the apple in there.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's amazing. I I had a cinnamon stick in mine, and I left it in there. It was probably in there for 6 months. Let me tell you, that was quite cinnamony.
Yeah, I'm not a big drinker, but
Either am I.
this was given to me by my ex-wife brother, ex-wife's current boyfriend, which his name is Don. Very cool. And we made some apple pie moonshine. I had a sip. I had 2 glasses just like this, a quarter away full. Salud. And 20 years. Salud. A quarter away full. 1 glass. Second glass, I couldn't even get off the couch. I'm like, oh my God. So they gifted me a jar, and I was internally grateful. But I'm just sipping, and yeah, I mean, honestly, the best way I celebrated today was just be out shopping with the kids. I mean, I was
Nice.
out with the family. I went to the Meriden Mall, and we went shopping all around. You know, just being together is what matters. I mean, the kids. The kids were young, especially when they were coming around. Not as much. I mean, you'll see my son every now and then it shows, but I'm just internally grateful that they're able to watch me do something that I love, and with that, hope to show them that they could achieve whatever they want to do in their lives. And but that was, yeah. I mean, like I said, I got all year to celebrate. This is a 20. This is a all year tour, a 20th tour for me. No matter where I go, doesn't matter.
uh, well, what a beautiful gift, and man, uh, the beautiful person that made that moonshine for me said she's gonna make some for the next time we see each other, and I wish wrestling would come back so we could see each other because that's some tasty stuff, man. Let me tell you.
Sweet, sweet and strong.
Yes, yes, sweet and
Yeah,
strong. That's perfect.
just like I am.
uh, Talk to us about your tenure now. You're saying it's been a little bit over a year with your title run.
Yeah.
It's one of your longest in your career. Uh, Now you've had some opponents come up on you to try to dethrone you of this championship. Could you give us a sense of who do you feel to date is probably your strongest opponent, or you felt like, man, he almost had me? Is there any opponent that really stands out throughout your tenure of your championship right now?
Well, Big Jim obviously was the biggest of them all, and I really had to fight. He left me. I mean, you saw how brutal that match was. I was hurting for at least a couple weeks after that. I mean, I would say, tonight will be the second time me and Morzoff go 1-on-1, and he gave me a battle, the first time, and it's really hard to say. I mean, I think they're pretty much equally all, even Troy Stevens
Mm-hmm.
gave me a run, and he came close. But I would say they're pretty much in chronicle order how they happened.
Okay.
Just the Big Jim, Troy, and Morrishoff.
Wow. It's a progression. It's a progression of your championship
Yeah,
defenses.
right.
Uh, you know,
And I'm trying to remember who was in between.
well, things get fuzzy. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, Now, I know you've seen this firsthand. Mr. Morozov, he's kind of changed his attire a little bit, kind of evolved his character a little bit, if you will, or whatever he's got going on. So I feel that he's a little bit more aggressive than he's ever been. He's a little bit more vicious than he's ever been, which is kind of hard to top because he's been a big pain in the butt for many of the talent in PAPW. So, sir, from all of us on here on Stir in the Pot, we wish you the best of luck on that defense with one
Thank
Mr.
you.
Ossoff.
Thank you. I thank you. I appreciate it. But he's already brought out the worst in me. So it's going to be pretty well matched.
Now, for us that don't know, where do we find this pay-per-view this evening?
It's on the Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling.com website and should be available at 7 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
Should be able to sit then, and I think it goes live at 8.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, you know what? I think as soon as I hit this button when we finish, I do everything with my prepaid. When I buy stuff online, it's just, I don't know. I don't have a credit card for that stuff. I just rather do it on a prepaid. I'm going to go throw a little green on it, and I'm going to watch me some PAPW under the radar.
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to that championship. Now,
Thank you.
the card. And I know we're speaking to one Mr. Bull Dredd, but that card, there's a lot going on. And there's one of the students that I want to speak upon. He has a championship, the Friday Night Alley Championship. That's Flash Waller, Dustin Flash Waller. And he's going up against one of the veterans of the company, One Showtime, Marcel Williams. Man, that guy's a pain in my ass, let me tell you, Mr. Marcel Williams. The rest of the card it looks fantastic. And I picked that one out specifically because Marcel Williams has been a multi-champion within PAPW. I'm kind of curious, as a wrestler, part of the roster within PAPW, who's your money on tonight on that specific matchup for that Friday Night Alley Fights Championship?
Well, you can never discount a veteran. You can never count them out because, Walker, he's still a rookie. He's still green. I mean, was he been in the business a year? I remember how it is winning my first championship. I mean, it's a different era, different style. That's how the business has evolved. But you can never count out, like I said, you can never count out a veteran. I mean, because they're just more ring polished. They're more self-aware. Not discrediting Walker or anything, but he needs to be on top of his game. But at the same time, his game is still kind of weak at this point. So there's a lot to learn in the business. So a lot of that high flying crap ain't gonna work on Marcel Williams. A good veteran's gonna chop those legs off, if you know what I mean.
I will have to say, Mr. Marcel Williams is one wily opportunity. Yes, yes. To Bull Dredd's 20 years. Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm already feeling it. And I had, 3 sips?
Same with me. I'm not a drinker, and that shit really kicks my ass. I will say, though, Mr. Marcel Williams, wily, opportunistic, knows his way in that ring, and he gets the job done. So I do give Flash all the luck in the world on this one, because I think he's up against something tonight when he goes up against Marcel Williams. I gotta say.
Yes.
Now, I'd like to get your perspective on something, because again, I wouldn't get in that ring. Absolutely not. I'm built like a candle, and I would snap in half in an instant. So. I know you're a singles wrestler at this tenure of your career, and I know you've been in tag teams. You've been in multi-man tag teams. You've been in battle royals. You've been in all sorts of different stipulation matches throughout your career of 20 years. So let's talk about some of that.
Right.
And I know you can't remember all your matches, and you can't remember all of the things that have happened, but does anything stand out? May it be a favorite stipulation match? May it be something that, that body of work I took away as something special for me? Is there something that really stands out in your 20 years that you can talk to the fans, a story, a memory of any kind that you can talk to us about?
There's so many. I mean, a lot of the questions I get is the same question I get is, what's your favorite match over 20 years? And I'm like, and I've been thinking about this. I was like, I can't really name a favorite match. I have a lot of great memories that I've experienced and have made. I mean, I've shared locker rooms with legends. I've chatted with them. I've been in the ring with legends. I've worked against legends, and a lot of them, it's like, like I said, I know we've talked about it. Like, 1 minute you're seeing these guys on TV, and you grew up watching them. Then the next thing I'm in the same locker room with them, and it kind of feels like you've known them all your life. And on top of it, it's like it's like they're just regular human beings doing working. But if there's any favorite moments, many of them didn't even happen in the ring. It happened in the locker room, and just happened through just being able to experience it. And it goes from anything from having dinner with Roddy Piper, sharing a car ride with Jim the Anvil Neidhart, even though tagging with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, having a fatherly talk with Roddy Piper, talking to Ric Flair, kind of like him putting me over, through my body of work, and there's just so forth and so on. Tommy Dreamer put me over. I did a main event show with Tommy Dreamer, and I think it was not Southbury, down in the south, in the valley somewhere. I don't know if it was Beacon Falls or Seymour, and it was me and Brian Anthony versus Zombie and Tommy Dreamer. And I went to go hit a senton. I was trying to climb to the second rope, and I kept slipping, so I stayed on the bottom rope, and I went to jump, and I fell flat on my face. Thank God the DVD didn't show it. And I was so embarrassed. Then, fast forward maybe a year later, I wrestled in the Mid Hudson Civic Center in New York, and it was my first time. To me, it's like wrestling in Madison Square Garden. Mm-hmm. And I was in a tag team match, and somebody just texted me, and I forgot my train of thought. Oh, Tommy Dreamer was watching from the stage. Mind you, this is the same stage that Roddy Piper hit Jimmy Snuka with a freaking coconut, from Piper's Pit. And that night, Tommy Dreamer came up to me, and I had a figure for him to sign, and I went up to him, hey, Tommy, can you sign this for me? He goes, dude, let me tell you something. He practically put me over. He goes, great job tonight. He goes, you've definitely stepped it up from the last time I saw you. It was awesome. And he signed my figure, and he talked about my castrator. He said he almost took it. I think you've seen it. I don't throw it out too much anymore because, years of doing that, my tailbone, my lower back is kind of messed up a little bit, from feeling it. But he loved that move, and he was just moments like that. You know, it just you ever watch Joe Rogan, any of his podcasts at all?
I've seen a few, not too many, but I have seen a few.
Okay, I watch a lot of his clips on YouTube, and from interviews and stuff. I watched one with David Lee Roth, and there was something that David Lee Roth said, and I've been kind of saying this throughout over the years since the school kind of closed down, and PWA school, because I was part of that almost. I was training pretty much 3-4 times a week. What I miss the most is training. The preparation to a show, because a match usually lasts 8 to 10 minutes. An indie show, 12 minutes, whatever stipulation it may be, whatever, 15, and but the 2 or 3 or the months or the year of getting ready, to me, I found more exciting than just a regular match. And David Lee Roth said he's more excited about the preparation than the actual show. I think I forgot what he said. Preparation than throwing the punch, and that's how I always felt. So it's like a lot of the best moments didn't even happen in the ring. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love performing. I mean, there's I can name you. I could probably name every match I pretty much had, things I've done, people I've been in the ring with. But a lot of my favorite moments, happened outside of the ring, in the locker room, just interaction with fans. Just looking out in the crowd and seeing my kids there. It's just that's what you take away. And a lot of fans have ended up becoming good friends of mine. And I just kind of truly always believe about being the same person no matter what. Like I don't let the business change me. So, that's how, I guess those are my favorite things about the moments over my career. It may be boring to other people, maybe, but I hope the fans that are actually watching this could feel how genuine it is, that being a performer, for me, what I appreciate the most. But I don't make the money. I mean, you see, we don't make money. So I'm kind of happy I am where I am.
No, everything you said, I'm feeling all of that because I've heard that before. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes in ring, and that's what we kind of strive for, to give the fans that performance in ring. But a lot of the cool things, a lot of the fun stuff, it does happen in ring, but a lot of it is really behind the curtain, on the road, like you're saying, at the restaurant. Oh, please go ahead.
Have I ever showed you my bedroom?
No, sir.
All right. I'm gonna give you a quick preview of what I'm talking about. Stuff that fans have given me over the. Look at this.
Yes, please do.
I can't turn the camera around, but you got to excuse the mess. I'm going through a bunch of clothes that I am getting rid of because I don't fit into 2X and 3X clothes anymore. So I'm boxing a lot of stuff up. So I got clothes all over the place. So I'm going to show you. I'm just going to turn my phone around. Just kind of look. What do you see? Tell me what you see.
We've got a figurine that's in a glass encase there. We've got all sorts of cool figurines.
Yeah. Little buddy. You see that?
Yeah. Look at that.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, what do you see?
You, my friend, you have a nation of fans, my man. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, tell me anything specific. You see these big ones right here of me?
Yeah.
One fan that used to go to all the NEW shows just used to bring them to me. And I mean, these are a lot of posters and shows I've been on. And look at my shirts. Do you see this one right here, the NWO one?
Yeah.
That's the one I wore when I tagged with Kevin Nash in Bethany for CTWE. And that was actually worn. I have it pinned up. So that's it. I mean, so to me, it's like, I'm always kind of, that's just a quarter of stuff. I mean, I've printed so many flyers and posters, and I have them stored away. I print pictures of me and fans, me and family that come to shows, whatever, and I make a collage. People may look in there like, dude, like, you know, it's a shrine to me. I mean, honestly, the way I look at it is like it's kind of like my own little man room. You know, it's my bedroom, but it's my apartment, so it's the only place I could do it. But if I had a house, I would have my own shrine because to me, it shows my accomplishments. It's something what I've done in my life. Yeah, it's
Uh,
wrestling. I'm like, wrestling's gay. Fuck you. You know what it is? I went out and accomplished something. I'm the first one in my family, and so far the only one in my family, to have a dream, go after it, make it happen. And I stand by that, you know. You know,
nice.
no matter what it is. I mean, and that's kind of what I try to tell my kids. I try to tell fans, you have
Mhm.
a passion for something, go after it. Don't, you know, we to get, you know, be into a little bit more spiritual stuff. You know, I kind of look at life. You know, everything's been normalized, and you know, we all get up to go to work. We go to, you know, people go to school to get an education, so you get a good job. That's great. We take care of our family. We have to do that. But I think we could have both agree that okay, you strip all that away. What else are you left with? What else have you done in your life? The way I look at it is like, yeah, I get up to go to work every day. I take care of my family. I make money. What else do you do with your life? I became a pro wrestler. You know? You got to raise yourself above the norm. That's, you know, that's why I take my role as an inspiration and a role model very serious because I'm living proof. I try to live by my word.
Well, I really appreciate you sharing that room with us with all of that cool fan art and all of that stuff. That was really cool, man.
It's, I'm giving myself 5 more years, you know. I try to hit the quarter-year century of
Okay.
being in this business. If I don't make it to 25, at least I've hit my first goal, you know, and that's what I'm going to take away from you. You know, with the power of YouTube and a
Mhm.
lot of my stuff is on there. I have proof of what I've accomplished in my life. There's going to be life after wrestling, you know. Um, but it became a big part of my life, and you know, and wrestling kind of made me into who I am today. Remember, you know, on the passing of Brody Lee, you know, sad, right? 41 years old. He did a thing on WWE. I watched it on YouTube. And he was kind of talking about Luke Harper, Brody Lee, John Uger. It's the same person. It's they're all extension of who he is. I've been saying that Sexy Beast, Bull Dredd, the Beast, and Mike. They're all one person. They're all an extension of who I am, and it's kind of molded me into who I am today because life is intertwined within wrestling. You learn a
Mhm.
lot about life, you know. I mean, and I'm very thankful. I grew up and matured doing what I love.
Uh, I applaud you for that because we don't go we don't a lot of us don't go for the dreams because we feel that it's unachievable. So I applaud you for that, sir.
Thank you. I mean, no matter how big or how small it is, you know, success shouldn't be measured by money. It should be measured by you're doing the things you love. You know, yeah, you want to be successful. I mean, at the end, you want to be paid for what you're doing. I mean, I've probably not even made as much, not even make back the money I brought put in the wrestling. But I take away, you know, the memories. The memories are priceless as alone. That's it. The memories that I'm able to show my kids and talk about to my grandkids one day. You know, well, I don't
Uh,
want to talk about grandkids. Only,
uh, Staying on the topic of memories, um, is there any kind of because you've been on the road, you've mentioned some top names in the industry. I like to maybe pull a road story from the talent that we get on the Stir in the Pot. Is there any road stories that you could tell us maybe with either one of the top names, one of the local names that sticks in your mind for whatever reason or another?
you want to know something? I didn't really travel much. I never really traveled much with anybody. I didn't travel for long periods of time, maybe a weekend or a two, you know, like a 2 nights, like a double header. Didn't go far. I think the furthest road trip I've had was to Philly with Joseph von Schmidt. Run road story. Well, actually, you know what? I've driven with Jerry the King Lawler, and I've driven with Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Rest his soul. It was the first time. It was Heart Attack when I think it was like one of the first indie shows that Bret Hart did. It was in Waterbury at Crosby, and Jim Anvil Neidhart was there. And I had just started with the company. I was still maybe a couple years in the Northeast, and they asked me if I could mind picking up Jim the Anvil at the hotel Saturday morning and just drive him to New York. Sure, no problem. I picked him up. It was like, I don't know, 10 o'clock. Picked him up, gets in the car, pops open a beer. I'm like, who drinks beer at 10 o'clock in the morning? Anyway, we talked. I talked about wrestling with him. He told me I have a good mug. That's what he said to me. He said I have a good mug to be a heel. Then he starts talking about, I should get jacked up. I should be, I should jack myself up with some steroid they give the horses or something. I'm like, okay. And at the time, I didn't really know how to use a GPS. I had a shitty GPS. I ended up missing the exit. So we get to the event. We get close to the event. He was like, I'm kind of hungry. So we stop at a restaurant, and he buys me an Italian combo grinder. And I'm getting calls from the promoter now. Where are you? I'm like, Jim wanted to sit, stop and eat. He was hungry. Well, we need you here. Hurry up. All right. We get to the place. We did our match, and everybody was going out. And at the time, I was, the kids were small. I was still married. And mind you, I wanted to get home. I knew if I ended up going out after with the boys, I ain't going to get home till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, Jim, dude, I need to bring you to the hotel, and I need to go home. I brought him to the hotel, and I got home that night. But it was a day where I picked up Jerry Lawler, me and my friend Vince Berry. You may remember him. Do you remember him at all, Vince Berry? Okay. Me and him went to ride. We picked up Lawler at LaGuardia. We spent the day with him. We did a signing in New York. And from there, we went to the Mid-Hudson Civic Center. I wasn't wrestling that night. I just did, I was just doing security. But I ended up taking Jerry Lawler and Angelina, what was her name? Angelina Love. Do you remember her from TNA?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Both of them, I gave them a ride to the airport, and so somewhere in Newburgh at the hotel. But spending the day with Jerry Lawler, I mean, I ended up getting his phone number, and I don't have it anymore. But I mean, these are the kind of things that I kind of experienced. And I was like, when I sold my car, my Pathfinder, when I traded it in, I should I should have fucking had Jerry Lawler autograph it. Probably would have been worth more than $200 that I got from it. But nothing really crazy. I mean, not a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, I could tell you that I didn't do much crazy stuff. I wasn't involved in a lot of that crazy stuff. I didn't live that lifestyle, I mean, I was a family man.
Yeah.
And I always came home. I always kept my priorities straight. So I went out with the boys, don't get me wrong, but I didn't get involved in that lifestyle,
Right. Got you. You've mentioned Jerry Lawler. I remember there was, let's see, I want to say it was at the PAL, and I want to say it was probably a couple years ago. Where it was the show with Kurt Angle versus Cody Rhodes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I was the sexy beast, baby.
Yes, you.
I tagged with him.
Yes, you were tagging with the King, Jerry Lawler. I thought me and my dad were like, holy shit, look at Dredd, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. One of my highlights. I mean, I still have the video. A friend of mine recorded it from the stands, and I still have it. I share it time to time. It's one of my greatest moments. I think that video alone, just in that one night, got one close. It took about 2-3 days just to get the 2K views, like 1,000 views just in one night, just from Jerry Lawler. So the exposure alone was awesome. Don't forget we had Great Khali at the end.
Yep.
And I got to dance with the hose, and
you did it. Yeah, that's right.
You remember? I purposely had 2 flowers at the ringside, and I had the girls give me a kiss, like on the cheek, and I took a bump. I didn't realize that I bumped right in front of Godfather when he was walking. So, whatever. I did it. It happened. It was funny. Those are the memories those are the things that I get to take with me.
yeah.
And because I could say I did it. A lot of people, like you said, can't say they did the things they wanted to do in life.
Yeah. I mean, dancing with the Godfather and the hose as the sexy beast. I mean, come on.
Yeah, those days are over. No more sexy beasts. I mean, the sexy beasts that people see now only are very intimate now.
uh, I'd like to kind of just talk before I do let you go, because there's a big evening ahead of us with
Yeah.
under the radar. I'd like to talk to you about the transitioning from the sexy beast to are coming back and doing this more icon beast, if you will. What happened here? Why the transition?
Well, like I said, it all goes back to I started focusing on weightlifting, and I started getting bigger. And what happens when you start lifting heavy, you start eating more. So I started gaining weight again, not in a good way. I started growing out the beard. I got inked up. I got a sleeve now, and just the sexy beast kind of. I think it kind of played out. Uh, Northeast wasn't really using me anymore, and I kind of like just kind of faded away. And when I got the call to come back, to come back to the original gimmick, I was like, "That's great." You know, I'm not saying, I think we've talked about it on the last podcast that the sexy beast I wasn't comfortable right away doing it. We talked about that. So it started, but I honestly started. It started to become an extension of me, how I really am. That's I kind of credit that in a way to bringing pretty much my whole career in full circle, because I've evolved from there. It brought me to a different level, and more from a worker to a character, where I started experimenting with different things. And yeah, like I said, I wasn't comfortable doing it. If I were to do it now, I would have a lot more fun with it in a different way. But going back to what really made me, I mean, yeah, I think people will remember the Sexy Beast, but they're going to remember me for who my roots are. And my roots are the hardcore icon, coming from the era of ECW, when ACW, and a lot of people still come forward. I'm like, yeah, I used to watch you in ACW, or I've seen you in NEW, and I'm like, wow. I said this, I'm like, when did I become the veteran now? 20 years have gone by, but it's like riding a bike. You start looking at life differently. You start looking at your career differently. You start looking at bands differently. What people like, and just everything. It's kind of changing with the times, I guess. When Hulk Hogan became Hollywood Hogan, what happened?
Wow.
Like you said, yeah, his career skyrocketed, but after a while, what happened? They wanted to see the red and the yellow again. So, but I'm back to the beast. But you know what? I'm the original. I'm the original beast, and there's only one. There's only one beast, and that's it. I think I've kind of paved the way for a lot of the big men. But
Okay.
nowadays, it's kind of weird being the smaller guy now in the ring. So.
Now we've talked about being trained by Jason Knight, and now you're at your 20-year anniversary. I'm kind of curious because I interviewed somebody yesterday. His name is Mr. Ray, and he's part of a podcast called Behind the Curtain, along with Corey Adams. And they interviewed Jason Knight. It's recent, as just like maybe 2 or 3 nights ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Do you still keep in contact with said Jason Knight? Is that something that relationship has gone along, or?
We've kind of just lost touch. I mean, I've always credited him for, everything in my career. He kind of disappeared, and I don't know. I reached out to him at one point. He never got back to me. I have no hard feelings for him. I mean, I don't know what's going on in his life. I don't know what he's doing now. I mean, I don't know. I honestly, I have no answer. Like I said, I just don't hope there's no hard feelings. Hope I didn't do anything. I just remember, I think he kind of started feeling like I wasn't like giving him credit, or I wasn't calling him or something. I really don't know. I mean, we all grown ups, and we're all, mature at a different part of our lives. We have families and stuff like that. So it's like, you lose touch with people. These people, I don't know, people shouldn't take it personal, but I always kind of reflect on my life and always give homage to where I came from and who helped me along the way. Like today, I thank Fogman. I thank Ron Zombie for mentoring me all these years and everything he did for me. I thank Dylan Cage for everything he's done for me. I mean, there's a few other people I need to thank, but I got all year to do that because I kind of give back. This whole year, the 20th year anniversary run for me is giving back now. That's the way I look at it, and it's no gimmick behind it. There's nothing, no one's, I'm not looking for anything. It's just me, being who I am. Giving respect to who came before me and who helped me along the way. You can't forget where you come from.
Great message. And I just want to put a cap on tonight with a little bit of under pressure. Obviously, you have a big title defense coming up for yourself for the Intercontinental Championship. We've talked about the Friday Night Alley Championship. Besides your match, I would think you would be looking forward to that the most. Is there another match on there that's catching your eye that you're keeping an eye on for any specific reason on the card this evening?
Marcel Williams and Dustin Walker. I mean, who knows what's going to happen after tonight? I mean, there's going to be at some point, I believe, for me, that I'm going to go after. Like, I want a title shot. I want to be the man in PAPW. Who knows? Who knows what, it's going to come out. Like, I don't know. I mean, to me, the way I look at it, the Intercontinental title is the second prestigious title to the world title.
Well, the champion, Vlad, he's been unseen. Nobody's heard from him. He has the belt held hostage, if you will. I don't know what's going on with that whole thing. I wish they would figure something out so we could start seeing the champion defend his big, the heavyweight championship. Because without the champion being around, nobody's getting the belt. So I would hope that the higher brass at PAPW can maybe figure something out with the heavyweight championship scene. That would be fantastic for, I think, everybody around.
Yeah, well, I don't need a belt to be the man, but, to represent the company, it would be an awesome feeling. I think it would be a good addition to my tenure, if you know what I mean.
Yes, absolutely. Adding to
my resume.
Yes, your resume, the accolades of a heavyweight championship. There's nothing wrong with that, my friend. That's what we want is full Dredd heavyweight champion. That would be very cool.
Yeah, and the belt to go around my waist perfectly. But we got to get through tonight. We got to get through tonight, baby.
Yes. Woo. Yes, we're not looking past.
Strike first. Strike first, strike hard.
Yes, sir. We cannot look past the Russian. So good luck with that tonight. And I cannot wait to see what happens with Bull Dredd, the Russian, and beyond that, because we like to follow Bull Dredd's career, especially celebrating 20 years. So once more, my friend, congratulations, 20 years in business, and just wow, what a big accomplishment, for real.
Well, how does it feel for you? I mean, is this a first for you? I mean, besides I'm sure you've, had interviews with people that have been in the business probably longer than me, but on their anniversary?
I can't say. I've talked to probably the guy who's had the longest tenure besides yourself that I've spoken to is Dirtbag Dan, and he's just under the 20-year mark, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And I'll tell you, an anniversary, never an anniversary of, especially a title defense, an anniversary, the first pay-per-view, the company, the promotion that you're part of. You're a champion, IC champion of a longer than a year. I mean, tonight has been awesome, and I cannot thank you. I really, truly, cannot thank you enough for spending the time with us on Certain
Listen,
Pop.
hey, listen, Don. I mean, we've been friends for a short period of time, and I think you can tell the type of man and just the person I am. I mean, we would be friends outside of the business. You know what I mean? And I appreciate what you're doing. I mean, no matter how small it is, it's still something, and you're still following people's careers and putting the content out there. I mean, I appreciate that, and it's fun. You know, as I like talking. Believe me, I do like talking. You know, but I love talking about the things I love.
Yes.
You know, because my life goes beyond wrestling. This is like the fourth or fifth interview I've done. I got another one this coming week, and you know, and I don't, you know, yeah, wrestling's a big part of my life. I like talking about wrestling, but I feel my life is more than just wrestling, and I think I bring a lot more than that to
Yeah.
just more than the business here. And I hope, you know,
Yep. Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. It's been a fantastic conversation. We learned a little bit more that we did not know about Bull Dredd in our past sitting. He has a big title defense. It's a big evening
got to
celebrating.
see my bedroom.
Yes, we were in Bull Dredd's bedroom this evening. Woo! One more time, my friend. Salute on your 20-year tenure. Congratulations.
Salute. 20 years.
Watch yourself, my man.
I'm already feeling it, and that's all I'm having. Water now.
This is Sir the Pot with Don Kincaid, and my very, very special guest this evening on a 20-year anniversary, the Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling Intercontinental Champion himself, the New England original beast, Bull Dredd. Thank you so much, my friend.
It was an honor. Thank you. Thank you very much.